My name is John Hilton, Senior Editor for Life Insurance and Annuities at Insurance Newsnet, and today I'm speaking with John Carroll, Senior Vice President and Head of Life Insurance and Annuities at LIMRA, and John is about to retire. Welcome, John.
There's a smile. Thank you. It's great to be here. Good to see you again.
Okay, John, why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about your long career in the industry? I know you've had many challenges and twists and turns. So summarize your long career for us.
Yeah. Well, thanks. I would always summarize it by saying it's been a great run. Like, it's just been awesome. It's almost 40 years. I spent the majority of that time at Merrill Lynch in their insurance business. So I learned the business from that side, from a distribution side. But we were also a manufacturer. So we had a company and we were predominantly a distributor. So got to see the full picture of the insurance business from that. We had some great runs there. We were there when some of the life insurance things back in the early 90s were not good. So we lived through that. We had a phenomenal run in the early 2000s in the annuity business. So some real challenges and then some tremendous success as well while we were there. Left there, went to Allianz, but on the asset management side. So, but I still, it was Allianz, so I was always connected to, the folks there and on the insurance side. And then 5 years ago, I came here, almost 5 years ago, looking to get back to insurance. I really loved it. I always loved the people in insurance. I love the purpose of insurance. And so, I was looking for something different, and friends started suggesting, what about a nonprofit? I'm like, no, that's not in the cards for me. And then I talked to here, and it was just great. It was a perfect fit. And it's been a great 5 years here of getting to know the industry again, being reacquainted, and really trying to help do what we do, which is make the industry better, right? Trying to help through connecting people and getting to know them and understanding what they're trying to do, and then connecting our research or our solutions to help them solve that problem. That's what we do every day.
Okay, great. You referenced it a little bit there. Insurance has gone through tremendous change during your career. So I want to take advantage of your experience and probe a few of those topics. How about products? When you started, it was pretty straightforward, probably, with life insurance and annuities. Yeah. And we've seen developments of fixed indexed annuities and RILAs and IULs on the life side. So talk to us about products and what you've seen.
Sure. I mean, I think some of the product development's been great. It's funny. People think about the insurance industry as a very staid, never changing, right? And it so isn't, right? It goes through tremendous change. So go back, 25, 30 years ago, it was pretty simple, right? On life side, whole life, and UL was the crazy new product, and you had term. And annuities back then, variable was big, right? Variable was king, but fixed deferred were big right before that, right? And that was kind of the two flavors. So you fast forward now, and you look at the mix of business today, and it's completely changed. And it's through innovation, right? So you look at life insurance. So back in the early 2000s, index UL, right, came out. That was nothing in the early 2000s. It's now almost 25% of the market. Right, so that's been a huge shift, and that has pushed other things away, right? So you look at that, and what's interesting about that growth and that business comes almost exclusively from the independent channel, which again, 30 or 40 years ago was a much smaller piece of the pie, right? So that's been a huge growth, and that's where it's all been coming from. If you look at hybrid product, right? That was probably, early mid 2000s, right? That they started to come out, and big success, right? Because people realized long-term care, everybody was, long-term care had a real problem, right? Everybody was getting out of that business. It was extremely expensive, and the firms aren't even making money at that level, right? So everybody pulled back, but people still needed it, right? It's a great thing to have. So then people came out with these, kind of single premium life long-term care combos, and they've been great. They've been very successful, and they actually do what people are looking for. It's like, if I need the long-term care, I'll get it, and I'll have money for that. But if I don't, I still have the life insurance policy. Right? And if I want to cash that out, I can. So again, you're getting all these benefits versus just the long-term care premium you were paying that you may or may not have needed. So I think that's another one. That was innovative. It was different. It created its own space in the market. On the annuity side, it's really been RILA and FIA. That has changed everything. And really, RILA and FIA are the old variable and fixed, but in a very different, more risk-managed, lower capital way, right, for the insurers. So for the insurers, it's a much better economic. But for clients, it's great too, because you're getting you give up a little upside, but you're getting a floor. And that's where, when you're talking about annuity buyers, right, it's generally a little bit older, a little more conservative. Like, they love having a floor. They're not looking for all this crazy upside. They love the upside, but having that floor in there is huge. And now you look at the numbers, RILA, which only came out, 10 or 15 years ago, it's now sells more than VA. Right? I mean, that's amazing. VA sales are where they were 30 years ago. And RILA has just, like last year, I think it passed it. Whereas there used to be one or two, there's now 20 firms, 21 to be exact, who have a RILA product. So that is really the future, I think, of that space. And then FIA has been explosive, right, over the past, and that's just fed into the, rising interest rates, right? But also, I think a huge factor was the introduction of private equity money, right, into the insurance business. That had not been seen before. So that's a huge another change. And what they've been able to do, quite frankly, is get better yield, right? They have. We've seen it in our research. There's a little bit of a differential of how they run money and what they can give clients. So that with higher rates just caused FIA to explode.